sad news continues because unfortunately we don't know what's going on in Nepal, or at least why it's gotten to this point. 19 people allegedly have been found dead. These have died during these protests that happened in Nepal. And they all started very simply because the government decided to shut down or to they decided to ban a few social media platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. And the youth, the Gen Z of Nepal, got very, very angry about this and they began to protest. These protests, which started as a question of why are you banning our freedom and our democratic right to be able to surf the internet, then proceeded into a more political issue, which is the government's dysfunction, politicians being very greedy, and the fact that there are over 500,000 Nepalese young men and women who are getting into the job market every year, and unfortunately there are only like 2,000 jobs available for them, and yet they can see the children of the politicians that they have elected in power to take care of them living their best lives on TikTok, flaunting their wealth and their cars and their nice holidays and their nice houses. And this has then led to a lot of these young Gen Zers being very angry about their politicians, which then led to them storming into their version of the White House and burning it, and even more gangs going into politicians' homes and, looting, destroying. We've even seen an unfortunate story of the prime minister who then had actually resigned from his position after these protests began. He unfortunately has lost his wife because some of the protesters allegedly got into their house and burnt it, and unfortunately his wife did get very severe burn wounds and suffocation, was rushed to hospital, and unfortunately did die. She died from the burn, not from protesters killing her during these protests. But the former prime minister called Mr. Sharma Oli, has lost his wife in all of these political protests that have been happening. Obviously, it was triggered by the social media ban of the social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so on. But it escalated because of the unrest. Buildings were torched, set on fire, government officials, residences, and public figures were invaded, and unfortunately some of them have died. There are 19 reported deaths allegedly up until this point, but thousands of injured people, and the protests do continue. So it's very, very similar to what happened here. The protests began because of the finance bill, but then continued on because of the corruption in government, among many other pleas that the Gen Zs had. So it seems it's becoming very, very normalized for young people to go and fight for their rights on the streets. But we hope that the army, the police don't kill to shoot, don't resort to extreme measures to quiet down these protests. But that is what is happening in Nepal. And the updates will come as the days go. I'll probably have an update for you next week.